Let's talk about something here. And I feel like for some people, this will be a really challenging topic to talk about. And at the same time, I think when not now, when then? Because I've been having some really profound realizations around this. And I think the world is ready to hear this. I want to speak about the ego. So, what I've realized, first of all, this thing where I feel like the world is a bit split. We either have a whole part of society that is very ego driven. We move solemnly by our pleasure, desires, or whatever feels good for me in that moment. These people are often not even aware about that. It's just how most of our society functions, acts, and is. And then we have another part, which is the spiritual community. And in the spiritual community, what happens, that's quite interesting, is this complete detachment from the ego, where it is even said the ego is a lower vibration and we need to transcend it immediately. So what happens is we're just saying, like, let's push the ego in a closet. That's where it stays, and I'm gonna function from here, and I'm gonna be a better person, and that doesn't exist anymore from today on. So what happens here is it's like if you're cleaning up your house and you're putting all the trash inside of your closet all the time. The house looks clean, but actually you haven't cleaned up anything. At one point, this closet is gonna explode. So if you're suppressing your ego, you're basically saying or putting it away. You're saying this is a shameful part of about myself. It's gonna be linked with shame and guilt, negative, low frequency vibration emotions. So you're actually creating a negative vibration within yourself that you're upholding, and you're creating this massive split of thinking this is my existence, this is my where I'm functioning from, and this is nothing. So what I want to present here is actually a path where we are moving with and through the ego to actually ascend and transcend on the other side, or through the middle. Basically, which that means is as simple as befriending our ego. Simple and also hard. Like, what do you mean? And I literally mean taking my ego on my hand and walking the path with it. I once had that in a meditation where I really spoke with my ego, and my ego was like, the only thing I desire is to be showered in gold. And I'm like, what a beautiful image. Who am I to deny that? So how can I daily choose to act and interact with my ego, befriend it, and move from there? So the first step of it is releasing the shame and the guilt and saying that instead of like having to split away from my ego, I'm choosing a path with my ego. The second one is bringing awareness. Which actions are really coming from which part of myself? So bringing awareness there, being conscious. And that is a big one, because I'm actually thinking, and I would say that statement, which actions truly have no ego attachment to it. I'm the person that was like, I'm such a giving and person, and I want to support everyone. I'm super empathic and compassionate. And then realizing, wait a second, a lot of those things I do it still now because I actually desire to be loved back. Like, how cute is that? And so at the same time, if I'm not aware that this is also ego tendency, then I'm also lying to myself as well as to everyone around myself. This is quite a harsh one. It's like really becoming aware and being conscious about how our actions are driven by that. The third one of that is creating a space for yourself that you are cherishing your ego, which is basically, if we're looking into the love languages, I'm not going into all of the love languages here, but love language is a concept where this is things that I feel loved, or these are things that I give to give someone else my love. So basically we can also adapt that to ourselves. In my case, quality time. So this means I need to spend quality time with my ego, as in I've already accepted that the ego is part of me. I've brought awareness to it. So I also know its desires and need. And from that on, I can give that to myself, which at the moment is basically sitting at home by myself and crocheting the shit away. So do that. Another one for me is words of affirmation. So I give myself the compliments that my ego desires, because then I'm not asking anyone else out there to give me this and the validation. Simple steps, simple tools. And then where is this all coming from? In my understanding, our soul is bigger than our body. This is a concept that we know. So therefore, our physical existence here on this earth is always smaller. We don't have the full knowledge of our souls. And in that sense, our souls has chosen to incarnate on this earth. We have chosen a human existence because there's a lot of growth and learning that we can get here. And in that, I feel like the ego is actually our anchor to keep us here. Because if we incarnate on this earth and we immediately want to transcend and go back into our soul's existence, we didn't actually go through all the teachings and learnings that are here. Therefore, the ego is our anchoring ground. It's what gives us humbleness. It's what shows us what we can look at. Our ego is the direct pathway to our wounds. Through this, we can see our wounds, and the wounds are a direct pathway towards ascension. We can't escape that. We gotta go through the middle. It's painful, it's hurtful at times, but at the end, that's where we actually reach the gold nugget, which is mostly the gold nugget is actually our biggest wounds, are our biggest teachers, are our biggest gifts into this world. This is how everything is connected together, and that's where we can move. So the ego can be your biggest teacher in this life. So who are you to deny that? Who are you to push that away? Because then you actually never really go through the biggest learnings that you can get. And in all of that, I don't have the right solution for you. I'm not here proclaiming I know it all. Like how egoistic would that be? I'm just here posing the questions, giving you the insights, giving you another way of looking at things so that you yourself can see, is there maybe another path? I've presented some steps and some tools. Well, first of all, accept that the ego is part of you, or you're part of the ego. It's second, bring awareness towards your action and consciousness. Where are you acting with from ego? And just knowing about it. Third, start creating the space for your ego in a way, which is also another tool there actually, or something that I really like doing is journaling. What if you write a letter to your ego, or your ego writes a letter to you? How beautiful is that? So you're really starting to create a relationship and walking this path together. And this is, in my opinion, the way forward for us humanity. It's the middle path. It's bridging the gap between two things. And it's also that's where we're moving into a new existence, into a new life, into an integrated way of living and being authentic. And that's where the joy, the pleasure, and the fun is. So please let me know in the comments, what is your biggest takeaway from here? Where can you tap more into your ego's desires in this beautiful, gorgeous way that is not going to harm anyone else, because we don't want to harm anyone else? And let me know. Like, subscribe, follow for more, and have a lovely day.